So I'm just using the very straight edge that you have on the sides of the chalk for this. And I'm just coming up in here and I'm just pushing side to side to create some little clouds that we're going to have in there. And then we can highlight them and put the shadow colour into them and stuff. I'm liking that. And maybe a little bit just in there too. Something about like so. Making sure we've got plenty of that red going on in there. You notice I've used a darker red down lower. I want a straight edge just there at the bottom. The chalk will fall onto your page naturally when you're painting like this. It's bound to happen. Right, so just in there, I'm going to go right through. Very straight with that corner edge again. Just touching here and there, leaving some of that yellow showing through in places, and then having a bit some bits of that going on in there too, what you can just see. A few little wispy clouds going on in between. Right. Happy. Just brighten that off a bit. There we go. Now I'm just going to go back to my light coloured piece of chalk. It's an off-white. I'm just going to use some of that in there just so I can get some of that yellow colour back for this area here. That's it. I want a bit of this colour in there, you see, but I don't want it to overtake. Just at the bottom there. See, I want it to pick up a bit of that colour, definitely. I want it to have a yellow tinge. And that yellow in between there always helps. See, just in the centre there, it all joins and connects. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to a couple that come out from there. That's it. And then maybe one at that side. I hope you can see and make out what I'm doing here. Right, more of the crimson tone up in here now. I'm just going to blend that out. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little bit of the white in there too. The white always just helps soften it, it really does. It helps to soften it all, because your colours mix with it. Right, I'm going to go back into my darker colours. Which is the blue and the black. So I'm going to put some of this blue down over the top of this red, which should make it go nice and purple colour. Just do it all over that main area first. You want quite a bit. You want to have a good contrast against what we've got. So we need quite a bit of colour in there to achieve that. Now this at the top is quite solid, and then it wisps off just into there. Same with this one, just let it wisp off. Let some of that colour show through from before, that red. Something about like that. And then just along the edge, I want to go just below where the red is. And at the bottom I can go right down to where the red's starting. Pull that blue into there. Start to get his contrast now soon. Leave some of that red in. Like I say, don't kill it all, don't just destroy it. And then down in here I'm just gonna leave a few open areas. See how that yellow's showing through now? That's what I'm wanting. That is exactly what I'm wanting to chase. Just a tiny bit more. Right. Now it's time for using the black. And these colours will show through that then. So we'll do the same thing on here. Just gonna come along this bottom edge with this blue onto about there. Just want to mix with that white. If you keep using the sharp end, you won't have a problem. Right. Now, just over the top of it, there's some wispy ones. There's one in there. It's a nice shape. A little stringy one coming off the end of it. Just clean my finger off again. I'm just going to blend that in. So, that's nice. Just stretches them out a little bit. Yeah. Right. Let it comes off of here, and they've got loads of like little wispy bits. Back with the red again. When you're trying to be accurate, it's sometimes good to have a rest on your arm, some rest on your own arm. Don't have to have a lot of this red in them for them to stand out. The blue's enough. Just a hint of that red in there helps. Cool. Right. Happy with them. Put a couple of really small ones in between. Quite sharp are these. Silhouette. Right, so what I've done is I've just used some pencil, chalk, graphite pen. It's not a graphite pencil, this is actually a pastel pencil. You can buy charcoal pencils too, and I use them all. I use the charcoal in pieces for darks sometimes. I also use oil pastels. Oil pastels are good to use along with your normal pastels. So what I've done is I've just marked that out. I'm just going to put a faint edge so I know where the mountain's going to be. There. And that's all I've done basically. Just put some indications on where the rocks are and where the snow's going to be. Put these darks in here because this is going to have some snow on it and stuff. So I'll just mark this one out now, where I want this to be. Something like so. This wants to be quite accurate for shape now. This is we're onto this area. I just used a little bit of blue and the red and mixed that in there, and then put a bit of white towards the base so it was like mist. So these will stand out nice now. the dark contrast will stand out against these light areas that I've put in there. So just mark that out so it's clear for you guys to see. Cool. Right, so what I've done, I've got all of this down here with the dark on and stuff. So I'm just going to start going in and putting some white chalk in between, and then over the top of that I'll put some blue, a blue tone, because it's like when it's a sunset time like this, you do get lots of blue in with the snow. So I'm just applying some white. We can put the darks in between that afterwards, so it's not a big problem. Just touch it with your arm if you like. You can rest your hand on your arm like so. Just allows you to go and put some details in. Right, you can see where I've marked out there for the rocks. Dark. Just going to go on the inside of them. All that way. A few good rocks going on in there too, just in that spot. So I'll put some snow in there. And then once you've applied the white, over the top of that I'm going to stick some blue. I mean, you can see the red that's on here from before, but don't worry about that. The blue is a strong blue, so it will cover that up. Right, and there's an area down here where there's some snow, so I can just put that in and yeah, that's nice. A few areas just up in there. Leave them dark areas in there. I'm just going to put some up in there. Quite a bit of snow going on up in there, so I might as well just block that in. There's a rock just in the top part which is going to be dark, and then a bit of snow just on here. Just like so. And we've got another rock. Some bits of snow just up to that rock, just in there. There. So I'll just do that little bit for you for the moment, and I'm just going to go back to my blue. And with the blue, I'm just going to gently rub into that. Sometimes you can do it just by using the side. I want that to be quite predominant, that blue. I want it to stand out. Even up in there, where I put the snow. Put a bit of blue on. And allow it to mix with the white that you've got on there. Because it's a sunset scene, it's not brilliant white snow, it's in shade. So you can actually blend that then. Blend it with the white in some of them areas. It wants to be a bit darker still. Just get some of that blue in. And then you can just go back with your fingers and just rub it in there. I'm going to put some more white over this, and it'll mix with the blue, and that's the whole idea. That's what I'm wanting. And then after that we can pick out some of these darks with the dark chalk. Right, so you can see in here where I've put the snow and stuff. So with that I'm just going to be using the black, the blue, and a little bit of crimson or bright red, whatever you want to choose to do that with. And then just in here I've got a ridge, stuff that goes down in there, a few little spots. Just mark it out with the blue. And it sort of like peters off over in that direction. A little bit of the red into the blue. If you can use an edge that is a bit warm that you've been using, just a bit of that up into there too. Get a bit of colour, you see, into these dark areas. Just put a bit of red. There's already some red down in there, and then a bit of the blue over the top of that, and then some black, because I don't want it to be a dark, too dark with just the black. I want it to have some colour tone to it. There. Same up in here. I'm just gonna use that blue on its side, and that'll mix with the red a bit and the black. I want it to be good and dark though in there, because we're going to have snow on this part, so that'll stand out then. And just go in and just blend them together a little bit. The red and the blue. There, nice and dark in there now. Because it's this time of day, it's quite silhouette as this. I can use the pencils if I like, and go back with the pastel pencils, but they don't tend to do it very dark. Not quite as dark as I'd like it anyway, so I'll just do a little bit with that just to show you. And then I'll go back to using the pastels. A lot easier. Just be sporadic in there with that. And just some little bits of rock showing through here and there. There's a bit going down into there. I'm going to put some black in first for all these, and then I'm going to put the blue and stuff in afterwards, I think. Just a bit of colour. With this area here, I can just start adding some of the black to add a few details. You can see up in here there's some little ridges that just peter up the mountain a bit. Up there like so. Just little rocks and stuff that are standing out in there. We know we want this to be quite dark. Same in here. But don't cover it all up just with that black. Leave some of the other colour standing out. I'm just going to come up in the top of these rocks a bit up in here. It's going to be silhouette more or less on this top edge. Put a bit of dark in for that. Same side of this one here, a bit of dark for some rock showing. A big piece up in there. And then we've got a piece that's coming right down the mountain. It's quite a little shelf of stone coming through there. It goes right down to there. Dark bits in it, and then here and there you can put some gentler ones which are a bit more soft and subtle individual rocks in between all of that. Now this one here, like I say, looks to be quite dark, and then that just trundles down into there. That's it. And then maybe just up in there I can shade a bit in. See areas where there's loads of rock together, you can just do it quick, nice and fast. Just don't stay in one place for too long. Just on top of here. There's some indications of rocks, and then leave the snow showing in between. That's something like the effect that we're after. Just up in here we've got some bigger spots of rock going in. Just touch it up here and there. So we can go back and put some more of this light colour in between. There's no problem with that. Right, so over the top of that blue that I put in, I'm just here and there, put some darks in between. And I'm just going to come up and put some little highlights here and there, not everywhere. Leave that blue still showing. It's just now and again I want to pick out a few little highlighted areas which are a bit brighter. Something about like that. Just up in there, a bit of snow. And any areas you get a bit too white, you can just go back in over the top again with a little tiny bit of blue. Just little details basically that I'm popping in there. It's looking good, I'm happy with how it's going. Go right up into that black if you want, just there. Because it's only really standing out on top of this. And then there's some snow on that side of it. Just in there. It's an oil pastel that I'm using now. A white oil pastel. And anywhere you want a little flow of snow, you can just put it in. Just in there. I know that I want a few bits in there, so I can play with that. A few little bits just on the top. Put all these details in. It's lovely. It really makes the picture. But leave the darks as well, don't just kill them. And then in between this, here and there, I want to put some little indications of snow. It'll pick up that blue that you've got on there already, which is exactly what we're wanting. And just up in here we've got some bits of snow going on. Oil pastels, they're that good that they'll actually go straight over the top of black. No problem. See, that's more or less black in there. There's a bit of blue in that, but it's more or less straight black, and it just goes straight over the top. No problems at all. There's a few other little bits of snow in shadow there, so I can put them in first, and then just blend them softly. So I don't want them bright. Right, back to my dark brush. My dark, yeah. I'm so used to using brushes, I'm saying brush. Back to my dark pastel again. And just where you put that snow, you can add the odd little boulder and stuff in between it. Put all all them colours that you've put in there originally should remain in there. Right, just in here, I'm going to put a little darker area. See, just there. Good and dark down in this bottom corner. Now if I go around and bits of snow that I put in, it'll still stand out nicely then. Let's put that down in there. Right in where shadows are for rocks. Happy. Just blend into that a bit. Just where it's solid. Don't blend into these areas now. They're starting to look good. And if a bit of that red shows through, it's fine. It looks like it's glowing from the actual mountain that's already there. I'm just going to get a bit more of that, just there as a separate. Right, so I'm going to go to my white. And just in here, I'm going to put some white in. I want it to stand out from the other one, so it's going to be like a little bits of snowy peaks and stuff going on. Now I know there's some rocks up here, but I can always put them over the top of this. I'm not bothered. That's fine. So this bigger amounts of snow, because this is closer, so you can see bigger amounts. I'm just going to put some of that white up into there. Some of it goes up into there too. Trying to stay away from the areas where the rocks are going to be, but it doesn't matter too much. You don't have to worry about it or anything. Right. Now, some of this goes up into here. Just in there. I'm going to put a bit on the outside edge. And it comes down through there. That's where that bit of dark helps. It's not too light. When you put the snow in, it just stands right out over the top of it. There. That's it. And then indicate this one, which is quite a distinctive little peak here, and it goes from there right through. And then there's some boulders and rocks and stuff in there. That's why I just did these little drawings and stuff, so I've got a little guide. And it's so snowy in that part. A lot of rocks on this edge, so there's only a few bits of snow in between the rocks.